We are back at it. Welcome back to the Val and Ann Show. It's been a while, but we always been here. We just been in the background, mixing it up in the lab, dialing it up, mixing the formulas, putting it all together. But I'm Val,
I'm Ange,
and
and
welcome
we've
to the
got your
Val
game
and Ann
plan.
Show. And we got your game plan. So we're a little rusty, but we're back
We're a
at it.
little rusty.
Yeah, but hey, listen, hey, it's April. Today is April 1st. Whoo, 2026 is flying. And, you know, what we want to bring to you today is things that, we've been evaluating ourselves, our clientele, you know, that's the generation and all. One of the things that we spoke about is the word practice. Practice away from your sport. Just looking at it, thinking about it, life is probably the biggest sport that's out there that everybody plays. And you don't know when your day or your number is going to be called, but you got to practice being who you want to be, and having fun with it. So just looking at that word practice that I write on my whiteboard here in big letters, practice. What does practice entail? What does practice entail for you, Ann?
Well, I'm a firm believer in the mental reps, but practicing each day to become the best version of you doesn't just happen on the field, like you said. Just had a great quote about practicing the game of life. I think the mental reps have to be done. If you don't do them, then when you need to do them in the tough moments, they're not going to automatically come to you. That's why we fail at consistency. That's why we fail at being disciplined, because we haven't put enough time in to train our bodies to do it in the subconscious. We just think it's always a conscious movement, and it's not. So the mental reps, definitely, me included, like just, the things that we need to do, the talking positive to ourselves, the self talk, all of it. It's really important, I think, as far as practicing is concerned. And you're always practicing. You use every opportunity to practice, and not just when the circumstances are right. But talk about like what we were just saying before we always press record. But you were like just talking about what you've changed up in the mornings. For you, that's given you clarity, that's helping you become the best version of yourself.
Well, with me, I've taken on a new approach of what meditation. Gathering. I used to always wake up and just be able to get going. Gather my thoughts. I still wake up at 4, but what am I doing at 4 o'clock? I'm not pushing myself to go downstairs right away, because I have more things going through my head, and I need clarification before I go and attack my workout. So I've been doing more self-reflecting on the things that now I need to accomplish in my life, but also health wise and mental wise. And I never looked at my mental to be a question, because I'm such a alpha. I'm such a strong-minded person, and I'm still that way. But now I have to do my meditation, because everything that I have on my plate, I compartment it, and I just have to learn how to let everything go and put it in God's hands. And so that's what got me to the point of, taking 5 minutes a day, first thing in the morning. I just let everything go, because I'm not a dreamer, but I wake up and my brain is like, okay, NASCAR, let's go. All right. And that's my energy. But I said, no, I'm going to take this time just to reflect and say, listen, God blessed me with the day to get up, put my feet on the ground and have this opportunity to go impose my passion into what I do, simple words that might help somebody, and I just learned just to close my eyes and by listen, let it all go, take a deep breath. And that deep breath turned into from 30 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes to 5 minutes a day. And just having that moment to just not have a thought or worry, it does so much for me. And I was never a believer in it, because I was always dealt the hand of face your fears, face your everything, just face on, right? I'm not going to blink on it. I'm not going to play chicken with it. I'm going to own it. And I'm never the person to put blame on anybody. If I say something, I do something, I take ownership. All right, I don't look to blame others. If I know I didn't say it, I know I didn't say it. If I know I didn't do it, I know I didn't do it. So I take ownership. But that's that time in the morning, to gather my thoughts and, you know, reflect and then let it all go and just go about my day has helped me tremendously in such a positive way. As we were saying before, like you wouldn't know if I got dealt the hand that I have 5 days left to live because I've learned to flick that switch on and off. The second I got people in front of me, it's not about me because I already worked on me. I'm taking care of me. I got to now give to you. I got my wife and kids. I got to make sure my energy is towards that. And I've been doing a lot better with, you know, doing more of that. And
Mm-hmm.
I can say for probably the past 2 years, 3 years, where the little things used to bother me. You know, and I'm like, well, and then I'll come in and I'll be in the gym and I'm just like quiet, and that's not what that wasn't me. So my energy is always, you know, I'm laughing, I'm positive, I like to dance, I like to move. You gonna get it all. And when I'm done for the day. And for me, when I come home, I'm not done for the day because, hey, can you play 2K? No, do I really want to play 2K right now? All right, let's go play 2K. What's 35 minutes out of my day to kick this kid's butt in 2K?
Mm-hmm.
And that means the world to him, but that means the world to me too because now we're spending that positive time. So yeah, I mean, I've been practicing. Like you got to practice that, and nobody really writes the manual on one being a parent.
Mm-hmm.
There's parent books that come out, but they're giving you insight on things to look for, but you have to create that, and you create that relationship, that respect, and you give it to your kids. Or like I raised all my nieces and nephews, and they all look to me as okay, yeah, that's Uncle Val, but like that's big bro, like yeah, like come on, right? If I can go eat, y'all can go eat. If I
Mm-hmm.
can grow, y'all can grow. What's your work ethic like? So I practice on being that person, and I'm just being that person because I know people are looking at me.
Mm-hmm.
People that love me, or you know, they see how I maneuver. Oh, well, I want what Uncle Val got. Well, I worked for it.
Yeah.
By 2 years old, I figured out how to mix cement. I practiced. And all that practice built me to who I am today. So, and like I told you before, every day a word comes to me, and then phrases come to me, and I sit back and I look, and I'm just like, I never forgot where I came from, but I never forgot where I'm going because where I came from structured me to be who I am today. You know, I don't regret the way I grew up. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And it has made me a tough person, a hardworking person because it's what I was dealt with. At 12 years old, I started my own little landscaping business. I practiced a work ethic. But everything around me was just practice, and I had no idea I was practicing it. Right? But now I sit back here at 43, and I'm sitting here talking to you, and the word practice came to me. I'm like, I practice being this person, and I'm just
Yeah.
being that person.
And we said, like I was just saying to you, is that's because you're creating the clarity to slow down. I wrote this quote, which I want to read to you. It'll be in the book coming out. The world pushes speed, but growth requires the courage to move at your own pace.
I respect. I like that.
And Steeple. And it made me think of it just now because, I'm someone that is more comfortable going because I am afraid of stopping because I'm afraid of the future. But the more I let go and let God know that He has control of my future, I pause more and I'm actually clearer and I don't need all the going. I create opportunity and I create energy because I think everything is energetic, right? You moving, more opportunities come. But at the same way, you've got to slow down to get the clarity. Otherwise, like you said, you get lost. Just like those moments that you're standing in the gym and you're like, wait, what? Where am I going? What's up? What's down? That's why I think like teaching this to the athletes, and the athletes and coaches or parents listening, busy, busy, busy sometimes is hiding something that you're fearful of. And to slow down and identify it gives you the clarity you need to be actually better than you were. So that's something that has come to me most recently, really intensely. So yeah, yeah, you'll get it. I'll text it to you. The world pushes speed. We have to have the courage to go at your own pace. And
And
think
that
about that though.
that is true.
Think about that for parents. Just recently, just reading a book about like parenting and coaching this generation, like all these parents always have questions like, should I put my kid in this club team, this club team? Should I be playing in this league, this league? They're keeping up with the Joneses because everybody's pushing this speed for these 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and they don't can't even have the courage to go at their own pace because they think their kid is going to miss out on something because that's what the culture is now saying. You have to do all of these things.
Hmm.
So I feel bad for parents. Like you said, there's no manual, and now it's getting even harder. You know,
I tell people to pray on it.
hmm
Like I'm like, listen, I if I don't have the answer for you, God gonna give it to you. And lately, I've said
I
to
don't know if you, like, I don't mean to cut you off, but like, even if you're not someone that prays, like, and this is
everybody prays.
anybody, like, whatever the
Listen,
higher power is for you, I guess you could say, be
everybody
fine to
prays.
just say it out loud. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
everybody prays. Listen, and you don't know when you need God until you need God.
hmm
People that don't pray, when when adversity hits and it like hits hard, where you don't know your ass from your elbows,
hmm
you get on your knees and you pray to God and you ask Him for forgiveness and you ask Him to see you through this. If you haven't been a believer at that point, then sometimes He might say, "Hey, my son or daughter, is too late." So if you haven't practiced praying, y'all better start practicing praying because God works when He works in mysterious ways, and He's never going to give you something that you can't handle
hmm
if you believe in Him. And you should always believe that there's a higher power. And I'm not a big religious person, so I never inflict that on people. But just words alone, you know,
faith.
yes, you gotta have belief in, you know, yourself, but you gotta have belief that there is a higher power. And they will he he or she will see you through any adversity, right? In any positive moment. I pray on certain things, I pray on every morning. Like that meditation alone turns into a prayer for me because I just pray that keep everybody healthy, and just watch over everybody because when you step outside of this work, you step outside of your door, it's free reign. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta have God, that higher power with you
hmm
because you don't know what kind of dice somebody's going to be rolling that day. I mean, I pay attention to all the little things, but I see the big things happen before it happens because, I evaluate, I, I evaluate the movements, you
Yeah.
know, and just to summarize it, I tell my kids when I say when you start driving, you're not just driving for yourself. You got to see it before it happens. You
Yeah.
know, you got to watch the other drivers. You got to make sure you're protecting yourself, but you got to make sure you got to protect other people when you're driving. If you're driving recklessly, you know,
Yeah.
I feel bad for this kid. Henry's Ruggs. Wasn't a bad kid. I was just reading his story the other morning. Killed a lady and a dog doing 156 miles per hour,
Why are you going that fast?
and he's not a bad kid. He
hmm
wasn't a bad kid. He was probably one of the fastest kids to ever play the game of football.
mm
And he got an 8-year bid
hmm
on 156 miles per hour.
Gives
You
me the
know,
chills. Sad.
but
Yeah.
I pray that he finds his way because just watching him play, he was a special talent. But 156 miles per hour in a couple of seconds, life can change. You know, so
Not good.
but it's all good. So that word practice and
We go back to that word practice when you talk about like faith and I think one another gift you can give yourself, anybody, is it's like for you, right? You're a dad, you have these two kids. And these small little things you do each day for your kids, you have to have a faith that that's going to make a difference. That when your son and daughter in like 6 years is going to be like, remember when dad said that? So we do that because we have a faith that down the line it's going to make sense. But you have to practice that faith every day. And when you are trying to control the intricacies of your life, you're not practicing that faith. That's why you need to let it go and just do what you can on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
practicing that faith with that word again, right, is super important for our mental health. And in a game, you make a mistake. If you hold it, you have to understand that you have to keep going. Maybe that mistake created something bigger. I always say that, like, even with lacrosse, you throw a pass, the person you threw it to drops the pass, but somebody picks it up on a ground ball and scores with
Hmm.
3 seconds left. If you turn a mistake into something bigger, then you never have those next opportunities. So
Yeah.
that's another thing we have to teach our athletes.
Yep.
And I would say the best athletes know how to bounce back the quickest. I mean, even
Well,
thinking
they
about,
got they practice having a short term memory.
yeah, goldfish mentality.
They got that short term memory, but they also got that reactive memory. Like, okay, I went this way last time and she cut me off or he cut me off. I need to go this way.
Yeah,
I need to find a way to get to this spot.
yeah.
And that's where practicing that muscle memory.
And that. Well, remember when we had the elite group was Shy was talking about how she's like, yeah, I make mistakes. If you think you make mistake, don't make mistakes, then you're wrong. She's
Yes.
like, I make a mistake and that's it. And now look at her, she's playing.
Yeah, she got picked up by the Dallas Wings. I just yelled at her yesterday
Did you?
because I'm the way I train the athletes is not to be second tier, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not to shy as everybody. I'm like, listen, if you want it bad enough, you got to go get it. And sometimes you might get a second opportunity, but right now, if you got an opportunity, you need to take it. Why would I
Mm-hmm.
sit back and not be me? Just always be you. Be the person who you are. Show them who you are on the court and be boisterous. If you're a student of the game, show it.
Yeah.
Show it. Even if you're wrong, you're right in your eyes because I made a decision to go this way. This is what I chose to do. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to be you. You always want to be that person that you are when nobody's watching. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Be you. But yeah, I called her yesterday. I was just like, how's it going? She's like, I'm doing all right. I'm like, you just doing all right? I'm like, let it go. Let it all hang out because you got this opportunity to go out there and just be great and play the sport that you love. There's probably a 1,700 girls that ain't get a call yet. Don't
Yeah.
give them opportunity to call somebody else. Go be you. Go be that dominant force that I know you can be.
But even like you asking somebody how's it going? Am I all right? Like no, you that right there is the practice that you are great. Just that word changes the energy in your body. I'm all right compared to I'm doing great. I'm taking advantage of my opportunities. Let's go.
Hmm.
Like those are things that like even when I see my athletes in the hallways and I'm like, "How's your day going?" "It's cool. It's good." "What do you mean it's good? What's good mean?" "I'm fine." I hate the word fine. Feelings inside, not expressed.
Yeah.
Like, ah, it's just, I mean, listen, my answer is usually living the dream, or I say, tell me something good. That's my new thing. Tell me something good. Instead of asking somebody, how are you? Say
Hmm.
to them, tell me something good.
Yeah.
That's my new mindset shift. Because everybody, what do you do when you see someone goes, how are you? Good. How are you? They don't, they don't care how you are. Nobody. Yeah. That first answer opens the most amazing conversations if you let it. That's my new thing. Yeah, my new thing. I was just going to say something to you. So think about, I have this idea for a shirt. You ready? So, you know how we were just saying, be you, right? Everybody tells us who we have to be. Everybody tells us, or we tell ourselves, and no, we don't listen to ourselves enough. And we, but what if the front of the shirt just said B, period. Be you, be great, be, don't define it. Just in that moment, be.
Hmm.
And
I respect it.
you respect it. It might be, I might go viral. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about taking a risk. What's the worst that could happen? It doesn't sell. And I have a couple shirts that say BE on them. But hey, you know what? Got to try it. Just like you said, just try it.
Listen, anything you throw the dice at, you gave yourself an opportunity.
Hmm.
If you never roll the dice, you'll never know what you're gonna roll.
Yeah, Nike's going to be like, hey, did you come up with that? Yep, I did.
Yeah, that's big.
Just be. Just be. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, so share something that a coach, parent, an athlete have taught you in the past couple of weeks that you've witnessed that you feel would be valuable to share with our audience.
Just being patient. You
Hmm.
know, taking their opportunities when they're there. This happens a lot, and everybody harps on wanting to go big time ball. D1, D1. I'm like, why? Don't put a big emphasis on it. Just go out there and just one, be you and enjoy this process. Like, I'm not getting an offer. I'm just like, have you been consistent? Have you been consistent with your purpose, or have you lost sight of your purpose? Because when you're consistent with your purpose, you know your opportunities are there. What are you doing with it? So have you been consistent? Have you been practicing being consistent with your purpose? Because if you haven't, then you can't blame nobody else. If you've been searching for the right answer instead of just keep chopping at that same spot, chop around, and keep breaking it down, and then fine tuning it and fine tuning it. Or you just keep going from this place to that place to this place to that place. You're searching and then you're getting lost, right? Because you fell off the navigation map, you know? So be patient with being consistent with your process. You understand what I'm saying? So you're not getting the playing time that you want right now. Stay the course. Don't lose sight of who you are. Don't lose sight of who you are. Be patient. Your time will come, but you got to stay hungry and humble in the background. Pay attention to what's being said right now to the others that's not doing it right. You know, so I've always been patient. I'm never somebody to fly off my rocker when I'm like, okay, well, I'm not playing right now. Why am I not playing right now? And these are questions I ask myself, and I'm sitting back and I'm laughing. I'm always going to be that person, but I'm evaluating everything. I tell my athletes, don't ever think you can pull a fast one on me because I might be 5, 10 yards away and you're over here doing something and you don't think I'm paying attention. I'm always paying attention. I'm just like, I just walk away and I watch from afar to see what you're going to do when you think I'm not watching.
Hmm.
All right.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know, and I tell them you always have to stay hungry and humble, but you always got to be working when nobody's watching. And I'm just like, and if you're not getting the results or the accolades that you think you deserve, keep working because sooner or later that spotlight's going to be on you and you better be ready to shine.
Yeah. This question came up this week, well, the past couple of weeks is like, when does a parent interject when they have a coach or coaches who aren't giving their kid playing time, but yet the kid is happy, the kid is competing, and it's just the way of the coach. The coach is just known not to give playing time, right? What they want to know, what is the advice I have for them? And so I struggle with it, right? Because it come from two spaces. As a coach, and I'm not the best coach in the world. I don't have anything to show for it, no championships. But I will say that I think giving other kids an opportunity helps with the long game, the long season, you never know who you're creating in the background, gives them a bone, right? But the other side of it is this act of patience and resilience. If you have a kid who's just saying, okay, I can't control what decision my coach makes, but I'm going to show up as the same me every time, I do believe that that kid eventually gets their number called and they learn just as much from that. So
Yes.
we have to take our hands off of it, right? And let that unfold because that's clearly what is unfolding in front of you. So that's when we have to stop playing God and just be like, this is the circumstances. How do I make the most of it? Would you agree with that? Or what could you add to that?
Well, I definitely agree with that
Mm-hmm.
because, as a coach, being in that industry, I believe in playing my younger kids. Like for take for example football. Football I can get away with a lot more, playing my younger kids on special teams and then feeding them reps, here or there on a varsity level. On defense or offense, give them that varsity time because it's difference. It's a difference, But I'm building the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them all, like in practice, if you're not in practice, you're always in practice. So you need to be taking those mental reps. Those mental reps are just as crucial as the ones that are taking the reps out there physically,
Mm-hmm.
right? So because when I call you to go in and you're gonna tell me that you don't know what you're doing, and I just ran it with the first team and the second team, by the time I get to you, you better know this. You better know the basics. Because if you haven't paid attention and you're one of those kids in the background that haven't did the the little things of taking those reps or paying attention to individual period when we're doing it, then you're going to be lost. And then you're going to go home to mom and dad. Well, Coach Val's not playing me. Bring mom and dad to practice. Sit and watch and
Mm-hmm.
then see what you're doing. I bet you your kid moves a little different when you're standing there in practice,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And this comes back to just always be you.
Mm-hmm.
I get asked the question, I'm not really playing. Well, stay the course. You know who you are. You know what you know you can do. All right. Just stay the course. Don't lose sight of what got you to this point.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to continue to keep working and listen to the corrections that they're making with other athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when you go in, you don't make the same mistake that they made. And if you do make a mistake, let it go. Let it go. Okay, you're human.
Mm-hmm.
You're human. All right. Just learn from your mistake. Don't get down on yourself because once you start letting that negativity creep in, it can become a burden. And then all of a sudden, they just keep pouring cement on top of cement and hope that and hope that it doesn't crack, but it's just getting heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
You got to learn to say, okay, next play, and just go harder next time. Next play, all right, I went this way. I got to find a way to get to this spot. All right, and that's the plan. That's the game plan.
Yeah. Yeah. Just been, thinking about it a lot. And I just think like there's a reason for everything you go with. I mean, if you track back your athletic career, you think about these moments through it that you're like, thank God that happened to me. Thank God I sat that bench for the 2 months. Because then my junior year, I never wanted to be on that bench again. And that's the year that I excelled. So if we're always looking for short-term gains and not the long game, then we're going to miss those opportunities to see what life is teaching us. We always think of the bench and we always think of an injury and we always think of setbacks as a bad thing, but they're actually really something that we can really help us grow, when we look back on them. So,
I used to
I
I
don't
used to thrive off of pain, and
know. What kind of thing?
I thrived off of it. Like I remember breaking my pinky in the middle of the Miami game, and I'm like, damn, this shit just pop out, and I popped it back in. I didn't have time to stop, and I just knew I did not want to come out of the game because I was actually
Mhm.
having a very good game. And I'm like, all right, I need to be on this field. I was like, and I just took a deep breath, and whatever pain I felt, I didn't feel it. But when I got on that plane and we took off, and that thing got to throbbing, I just knew maybe it was just my drive just to
Yeah,
play through it, and it was just my passion for the game.
yeah,
I never played for the next play. I played every play like it was my last play.
yeah.
And I live in every moment. And that's where my quote comes from: live in the moment, work for your future. Because these moments that we have can dictate who we are or what our future can look like.
Hmm.
So stay the course
Hmm.
and just keep working. Just
I was
keep
just
working.
reading I was just reading a case study through this guy. I listened to him on a podcast, and he was talking about that there was this, I think it was in the UK. They were teaching this philosophy of how much pain you can handle. Your pain tolerance all comes from what you tell yourself and what's in your mind. So
Hmm.
this guy said that this man needed like an hour surgery, and they had prepped him, and he's not going to feel any pain. He did not want to have any anesthesia at all. The guy went in for an hour surgery, no anesthesia. He felt no pain. His heart rate never went up. All of his, what are they called? The heart rate, temperature, all of his vital signs never changed. All he did was sit there and think about that he wasn't in any pain, that this was making him better. And it was just this case study about how powerful our mind is. And that this guy, people who usually get a full dose of anesthesia, went through a surgery with none, about the power of the mind. I was fascinated by it. I can't even get my teeth cleaned without
All
getting numb.
depends. All depends on what kind of surgery you had. I can tell you that.
I was fascinated by it, but there's a lot of that stuff that goes on in the way you condition yourself. And this man practice, he didn't just, this wasn't a week-long study, right? They conditioned him for, months and months to understand his pain tolerance, and he
Yeah,
built it through the power of his mind. And when you hear more of that stuff, you really see what your pain tolerance is. Because
I
I'm
agree.
talking to you, a psycho who didn't want to come out of his game about a pinky.
Yeah, listen. I got a partially torn MCL. You gonna
Mm,
tape this thing up, brother? Because we gonna play. We playing Michigan State. You gonna tape this thing up, put it in the knee brace. I'll figure a way out to play and cut. You gonna play me today, all right? And that was just like I said, my drive and my passion
mm-hmm.
in that moment. I didn't care about, okay, I need to save myself for the next
Yeah,
week. Hell no. I got a game today. I'm playing today. And it's the same way I address training.
yeah,
Right? What? My shoulder hurt. I got shoulders today. Figure it out.
yeah. How many of you, like, I see so many athletes that they obsess over a pain. They obsess over being injured. And it's like, yes, there is an injury, and you cannot play through the injury, and there's communication process, and there's all the things. But then there's also
How do you heal an
going,
injury?
what?
How do you heal the injury?
In your mind first.
Put stress back to the area. All right. Okay. I tore my knee. I had surgery. I just can't say, okay, let it heal. It's gonna come back. No, I gotta put stress back to the area. I gotta make
Yeah,
that area want to work again. All right. At the same time, I got to develop everything around it. So I got to put
yeah.
stress back to the area. All right. I got to increase range of motion. I got to put stress back to the area. All right. How do you heal somebody that's suffering mentally?
Hmm.
Put stress
Yeah,
back to the area.
yeah. Got to have them go through
You
something resilient. Hmm.
got to practice it.
Hmm.
You know.
Okay,
Yeah. So there's the angle.
there's
You know,
that. Yeah.
if you want to be great at anything, you got to practice. You got to practice whatever it is that you're doing. Anything that you set your mind to do, you got to practice it. You want to be consistent. You got to practice being consistent. You got to work on being consistent. You want to be a good person. Be a good person. You got to practice being a good person. You got to catch yourself doing, bad people things. Right? If you want to be,
There's some stupid things that you can think of right now that you say, because I have a couple that I do that I never really shared, but like I've always been a good person. I mean, consider myself that. But like there were little tiny shifts I made. What are some things that you do when no one's watching that make you feel like a good person?
that make me feel like I'm a good person.
Not make you feel like, you're a good person, right? So okay, here's mine. So I used to never put the shopping cart away, and I used to leave it in the middle of the
I always do that. I could park a mile away. I'm like, dang, that thing way over there. All right, I'm gonna walk it over there.
that little shift.
Yeah,
But
because
the shopping cart,
I think of, imagine that's me in that situation. Got to go get this cart, and I leave it a mile away, and this person got to come pick this cart up.
mm-hmm.
I'm be like, man, whoever left this car here, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch next time. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them, listen, you won't bring it. So I think it's okay. How could I make their job easier? I
So
always,
what did you
I,
just do? This was a trick question. This was a,
I always put the cart back.
you thought about somebody else. You thought about the next thing. So
Yeah.
here's what I'm getting at with this. When you have a choice to make, whether something simple, I'm going to get up out of bed and work out or I'm not. If you stop at, oh, I'm not going to, I'm not going to, I'm not going to work out. And you stop there, okay? But if you take it the next further and say, but if I don't work out, then I am not going in 3 hours from today, in 3 hours from now, I am going to feel shitty about myself. And 5 hours from now, when Val asks me if I worked out, I'm going to have to lie to him. So if you put consequences into your decision, you are more apt to get up and do it. So that's why I started this change with putting the shopping cart away because
Well,
I was like, now I'm thinking about somebody else. That
mhm.
small behavior then also became something else. I always, not that I never slammed a door in somebody's face, but I always hold the door for somebody in a convenience store. And I wait for somebody to leave the convenience store to say good morning or how are you. And it's the weirdest thing, but I'm
Well,
telling
I
you,
always look behind me and see if somebody's walking in, and I hold
yeah,
the door for them. It's like it's just mannerism. If I don't hold it, if I don't look, then I'm like, all right, well, nobody coming. They'll find that they're 10 steps away. Are you coming in?
yeah.
No. Okay. Well, all right. No,
But
they
now
come
I
in.
just
You
made
hold
a
the door
point
for
of
them.
it because of the consequence of that just helped somebody else out. And now, like, my brain chemistry changes when I don't make it about me anymore. I make it about the people around me.
Hmm.
So then, even when you go to make those decisions in your life, small and big ones, you think about the people around you and not just yourself.
Yeah.
It's a little mental habit that I've practiced through, you know, reading. But yeah, those are the ones I was talking about. I wanted to see if you had any quirks.
Nothing I could think of. I always put the shopping cart back. I'm like, you're not gonna put the shopping cart back? I'll take the ladies that's gonna leave hers right there. I'll be the person that's taking mine. I'm like, here, I'll take yours and I'll put it back.
Yeah.
I see people do it, and I'm just like,
Well, our generation is doing a lot of these little things. I find myself like,
just put your shopping cart back. Like,
yeah,
you took it from one spot. Now you want to leave it right here? It's gonna scrape your
hmm
car up. It's gonna scrape somebody else's car up.
the shopping cart, Ange.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Or like me, I see if I see something on the floor, like I see a paper outside, and I'm like, it's blowing right by my feet. I'll pick it up and
hmm
throw it away.
that there you go. The little things.
Yeah.
hmm
But if it's blowing too fast,
You're not chasing it.
I'm not chasing that thing. That thing, man, listen, that thing got caught in the windstorm. It is out of here.
What if
It's
it's
gonna make its
20
way
bill?
back to me at some point. I'll pick it up. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'll pick it up. I'm not that bougie.
Yeah, but practicing being a good person.
Yeah.
Like, what does that, what does that look like? Like my birthday. My birthday was 2 days ago.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks. And I did this little thing where I was like, I really want to see because social media has made it so easy to wish people happy birthday.
Hmm.
And of course, the world goes fast and everybody's got their own thing and not everybody's on social media, whatever. But I made it a point to see the people that texted me, went out of their way to text me. Because I'm one of those people that I'm not just going to write you a message on social media. I'm going to write you a message as a connection. Like I believe in connection. You know me, I'm a power of connection. So I made a list of all the people that went out of their way to wish me happy birthday. And they're the only ones I'm inviting to my 50th birthday party.
Oh my God.
So my husband told me I went too far. But what was surprising to me was that the people who I thought would do it did it. And I
Yeah.
was pleasantly surprised, and especially some of the athletes that really, like, people say that these 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids don't have it. They have, they showed up for me, that's for sure. So it was cool. But I went through every single person that did wish me happy birthday and sent them a message personally. Thank you. So I made them feel like shit, but that's okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Well, you got a busy week?
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
this is it's it's springtime. You know, I try to, I'm in the gym more, so now it's like, okay, we're loading up, getting ready for the summer. We got travel across starting, where we got our practice. We're really, getting ready for the push because, you know, that trying to get out and watch everybody play.
Yeah.
You can't make every game, but you're checking in on them, making sure they're doing good, make sure everybody's healthy, and answer any questions that they have. Like, okay, what do you got? Just making sure, just doing your daily check-ins. One thing I started doing is that giving the athletes more to spotlight. Doing our athlete spotlight, showing them recognition, showing them that your hard work is paying off, and just watching the stories and just watching their journey is definitely a blessing. Seeing, and then seeing the ones that have been consistent is truly growth. And at 43, I'm not content, but I'm happy. I'm blessed,
Hmm.
you know, and just I know there's more to come.
Yeah.
I know there's so much more. Like even my college athletes, watching them shine right now, and
Hmm.
those try is just trying to check in with all of them. Is making sure that like they're on point. Even the
Hmm.
ones that are now freshmen in college. You're a rookie that's getting a little bit of time here and there, but you making the most of it and understanding that, hey, my time will come. We've all been there. You know,
Hmm.
we've all been there. I was a freshman in college. Coming in thinking that I didn't expect to play, but I willed my way to play. I didn't blink on the opportunities that I had, and I made them count. You asked me to run down on kickoff, I'm gonna run down on kickoff. How many times?
Hmm.
You asked me to be on pump block. You asked me to be the jumper on the field goal block. Yeah, no problem. I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. I
Don't
like
shy
it.
away. Don't shy away from changing your position. You
Mm-mm.
know, I came in as a linebacker. They moved me to defensive end 2 days on campus. I'm like, defensive end? Have you lost your mind? I like
Hmm.
to see what's hitting me. I don't want to. And he's coach said it in a nice way. It was like, kind of like you ain't got no choice. This is our vision for you. This is where we see you. And I was like, all right, screw it. Let's go. I embraced
Hmm.
it. You know, embrace these moments. They go
Yep.
fast.
They do. All right. Well, till next week.
Yeah. Till next week. All right,
All
it's a
right.
Val and Ann show back at it.